RBY Invitational 6, round 1. We have Serpi against King Billu. Serpi, I'm sure, needs no introduction, even if you're not so involved in the RBY community. He's put on an absolutely brilliant performance in SPL the last 3 or even 4 years. I know over the last 3, he has 20 combined wins, which is just simply absurd. Wins every circuit tournament. I mean, has a 4th place finish in this tournament. Absolutely absurd player. Like, you all know who Serpi is. King Billu, last year, he lost in the last round of Plains, but then got to substitute in last minute after somebody dropped. And then this year was unfortunately sent back to Plans, but then just won. So now he is back again. He went, I think, 10-1 in games overall in Plans, which is pretty absurd, and is now 8-1 overall the last 2 years. So we'll see. This is Tier 1 versus Tier 3 matchup. So Serpi is, of course, just naturally favored. And if we take a look at what the people are saying in predictions, we have Serpi 21, King Billu 3. So that tells you. So Serpi's pretty heavy favorites, but of course, I mean, this is RBY Invitational. I think 2 years ago, Serpi lost in a big upset to Blazing Dark. So you never know what's going on. But I'm actually gonna start briefly as I was looking at the Discord, giving ABR the matches roll, etc., etc. Gengar, so fun. See, that's so just on this turn, like something Gareg is really good at is instead of like being forced to your Chansey, then you get immediately set by Exeggutor. It's now a tie. And then King Billu does end up winning, so I guess it didn't ultimately matter. But there's no mind games going back to Gengar or anything. But Serpi has Jinx, so this is like the 3rd time we've seen Gar Jinx Gar Jinx Egg, and it's not even from ABR. It is from Serpi. So you get to sleep on the Exeggutor. Body Slam Jinx. Oh shit, trying to get paralysis. Which is really funny. So now we'll take a second to set the stage now that we're back. Serpi, both Exeggutors are asleep, so that leaves us with a 5-on-5. But of course, just like, I don't really love having Jinx and Gengar as the like Pokemon. Like, I won't lie. Like, Jinx, like, if you're playing into a Snorlax that can't touch you, that's really cool. At least, but like, what the fuck is Jinx doing? I don't know. Excalibur, I'm surprised you went Jinx instead of Egg turn 1. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, you'd expect, like a Chansey, or really like an Exeggutor to come in here from Billu, or I guess maybe a Chansey, which Jinx just beats both of those. And you get a much cleaner sleep off, you get some chances to freeze fish, but none of those happen. Ooh, great move by King Billu. Gets the explosion into the Rhydon. So very interesting team. I probably would not expect Rhydon. Zam, Egg, Rhydon? Very interesting. Oh, my Discord thought, wow, that was really funny. I had Discord up and I had voice on, so it was just typing everything I was saying. Very funny. But with this Rhydon, yeah, we'll see. I mean, with the Exeggutor asleep. Oh, gets the freeze though, huge. And now we're just back. And it is Snorlax. Very interesting. Zam Exeggutor Rhydon. I presume King Billu looked into things and thought this was good against Serpi. This is not a combination you see regularly. Huge freeze, of course. So now that's Exeggutor dead, Chansey dead. That's 4 Pokemon left. If we get like a paralysis on Alakazam, Tauros looks exponentially more dangerous. Jinx, I mean, I guess it kind of goes in. I mean, it's gonna be on Alakazam. But like you can get a paralysis body slam perhaps with Jinx. I mean, that could actually go pretty crazy. Now here, I mean, is the Snorlax Reflect? Does it have Boom? Does it have Counter? Had a feeling first turn freeze, so went Chansey overlax. Says Billu in the chat, which I guess you guys can't see. Yeah, it's nothing. We're not perfect. I guess here maybe like you pivot to Exeggutor because you probably can't get slept again, which covers all of Counter, Explosion. If it reflects, we'll see. Maybe then you go to your Jinx and start firing off blizzards, but then like one body slam and you get paired and you're done. This might be challenging. You're still like, who knows what Serpi has? It is going to be the Exeggutor on the Reflect. I mean, Starmie and Snorlax maybe? Probably Snorlax, but who knows? So we have Reflect Slam, likely Rest, and then maybe Self-Destruct. Xander does wake up, but it just does die. So I assume we'll reveal, no, it is just going to be the Jinx. And we're going to start firing off Blizzards. I mean, one thing, like, this Lax could stay in, which it does. Can't get frozen. And the Body Slam, I mean, if this paralyzes, the Jinx is just dead, yeah, and then it does get the paralysis. I mean, this tells me Serpi probably doesn't have the best answers to this Lax currently. I mean, we'll see if he reveals a Starmie here. But even then, like, that could get exploded. This could be a really huge turn point to Billu. Like, if, I mean, the Snorlax, if it has Explosion, I mean, you can just click Explosion next turn and just keep trading. Bring Serpi down to 2 mods while you still have 4. It's like Chansey. I mean, there, I guess, like, Serpi really needs, like, a crit with Blizzard or just to not get paralyzed. But, so I think if he had better options, he would go to it. It's, like, obviously, I guess you are technically favored, right? But Blizzard can miss and things like that. So I think, yeah, now you go to Starmie. I mean, if this Snorlax is able to boon the Starmie, it's looking really challenging. This could also just not. This could also just slam. Then if you paralyze the Starmie, that's really challenging. This is out of Psychic Surf range. Obviously can't freeze. Maybe you just probably just Thunderwave. And hope for the best, maybe. Then at least if you get paralyzed on Body Slam, it's not the end of the world. I mean, does this have Explosion? Right, you don't really need it for Zapdos because you have Rhydon. Probably don't necessarily need Earthquake because you have a Rhydon and needs like to turn the back. Like it could be Hyper Beam. Probably Hyper Beam or Explosion. So it's really tough. Like if this is Explosion, I guess you just Thunder Wave. Or you just hope for the whatever's higher between Thunder Wave Paralysis and Starmie's crit rates. Because the crit will KO this. If it's Hyper Beam, Thunder Wave. Maybe just Thunder Wave anyway, then at that point it also covers like a switch to Alakazam. It's just gonna be the Lax. Does this explode? Does go back to the Alakazam. Very interesting. So I assume this is not an explosion because I feel like you just explode, right? If you had it there. Now we're gonna see. I mean, if Serpi gets Body Slam Paralysis here, he does not. But it does get big damage in Alakazam. I wonder if we see King Billu try to recover, which I think is pretty risky, right? But we'll see. I mean, this is RBY. I mean, King Billu got the Body Slam Paralysis with Body Slam with his Lax, and Serpi doesn't, and now gets paralyzed. So now it's Alakazam. In a pretty commanding position. I mean, it's going to be able to Thunder Wave the Starmie. If this Mai is Psychic Blizzard, it's not going to be really doing anything. I guess the Psychic and Thunder Wave, you can get some drops at least. But like, at the very least, you are going to get slapped into Rhydon on the Slam. Is there a Paralysis? There's not. Not sure how much I love that, because now Serpi just goes... I guess what Billu does here is he gets opportunity to Body Slam the Starmie without risking the Alakazam, so I guess it makes sense. It's just an Earthquake, so good move, and he gets paralyzed again. And it's Starmie. Let's see if we do see a Body Slam here. We don't. So big damage in on the Snorlax regardless, and now forces Starmie to recover. And maybe now you go to Alakazam, right? Yes, and then let's see. Starmie does recover. Alakazam or Snorlax challenging to come in. I mean, Snorlax at this point does get 2 KO'd by Psychic. Is gonna get Thunder Wave on the Starmie though, which is huge. I mean, when there's a Starmie though, there's a way, right? Psychic going for the drop, does get the drop immediately, and it's Surf back, gets a crit. I want to see here, if I had to guess, Serpi is going to pull the trigger and go to Taurus right here. And then, I mean, if he does, if he gets it in on a full para, that's pretty big. I mean, this is in range. It is Tauros. How did I know? But Billu does click Psychic. Great play by him. I mean, great plays by both players. Right there. I mean, Serpi doing the right thing, I think, getting his Tauros in, but Billu calling it and Psychic. Great. Just great plays from both players there. Billu, I think, just made a better one. And now with Tauros taking that damage, it's going to be tough. Is going to go for the freeze. Gets a crit. No freeze. But now is in Hyper Beam range. I mean, Billu does have Rhydon. Does have Executor. Serpi has Starmie. Does stay in and wins. Huge turnabout here with Tauros. I mean, getting in there, getting the Alakazam, getting it on Alakazam, even though you took a Psychic, got rid of the Chansey, so got rid of one of the sacks, and then Tauros got a crit and then won the speed tie. I think here maybe you just stay in Blizzard. This is not in Blizzard range. Wow, does that less? Oh, it's at -1. I was gonna say wow. If this even if it was not at -1, it would still not KO. Do you sack Starmie? I feel like you probably can't sack Starmie, right? You sack Lax, then maybe that lets this set up a substitute, which isn't great. Do you go for the crit? The crit Blizzard? Or the freeze? We'll see. I think probably. I mean, like, you can't go to Starmie's to a Kyoto Earthquake. Can't go to that. It's just gonna stay in Blizzard, which I think you had to do. No freeze, no crit. Down goes Tauros. Now presumably you bring in your Starmie and start collecting Surf. I mean, this Starmie can do it, especially this Lax is Earthquake, Ice Beam. I mean, even if it's or Hyper Beam, it's not ideal, but it's not bad. Explosion, definitely the worst of the options. As the Executor comes in, I mean, if this Executor gets an early wake, Serpi has to go Lax, and basically hope he can KO this Executor with this Paralyzed Snorlax before this Executor wakes up. But if this wakes up, I mean, it's going to be a challenge. So Serpi's definitely on the ropes. I mean, again, so stays in. Oh, I wonder if Serpi trying to call double there with the Surf, potentially trying to catch Rhydon. Here comes Snorlax, another turn left. Has to KO this Executor before it wakes up. And then you hope Starmie beats the rest of them, which I mean is definitely possible, especially the Snorlax. But he's just going to go to Lax as it gets paralyzed. But also, like, if it does come down to Starmie Executor, like, if there's no Mega Drain, I guess eventually Executor will just win with Psychic drops. So I think it's smart keeping you alive. Back to Starmie. Steps reflect. And we'll see here now. I mean, if Billu gets a Body Slam into Paralysis and Hyper Beam, the game does seem over. Serpi's got to not get paralyzed, Thunder Wave, and then start recovering up. So I think Billu probably favored. I mean, all it takes is one Paralysis here and Executor Wake, and things become very challenging. But if Serpi, I think, gets the turns right and gets not unlucky, I guess is the way you can frame it, definitely within reach, it goes back to the Executor. Not a 12% chip. Probably just have to go straight to the Snorlax, I presume. Back to Lax. No wake. Gets 3 turns. Stays in. Doesn't see. Misses Hyper Beam. Trying to catch the Lax there. Even would have loved damage on the Executor as well. Especially if it didn't wake up the following turn. It also could have then slept, I believe, while it's recharging, which would have been really funny. But just go back to the Lax as the Body Slam. So Billu gets both, like, pseudo 50-50 is correct here. Do you think Serpi just stays in? No, goes to Starmie and Body Slams, which I think is much better than reflecting. Now, if this is Hyper Beam, the game probably does just end. But seemingly not, to Executor. So let's hear, does Serpi have to recover with his Starmie? He does choose to. Executor wakes up. Psychic gets the crit immediately. No drop. Does get Thunderwave off. Gets another crit. No special drop. I mean, I guess the thing is here, like, Starmie could theoretically just keep chipping this down. Although the special drops are going to make it very challenging. Yeah, Surf, Thunderbolt, Starmie does not want to see this Executor. At all. Now, this is Blizzard. Be a different story. Even if it was Psychic, would be a different story. But also, I guess Serpi. I mean, one thing is this Executor technically can't KO the Starmie, is one thing. It's going to go to Lax on Psychic. No drop. So still out of range. I don't think you can explode here. I think you just Psychic. Well, I presume then Serpi. I mean, if Serpi had hit that Heavy Beam on the Executor earlier, would have been huge. Because then it would be in range now. Although Snorlax probably has the ability to explode. Really want to explode. You really want to explode this Executor, but obviously you don't want to explode right under Snorlax or Alakazam. So I think what Billu should do is, I guess, just switch out. But also, like, how... Oh, he stays in. Serpi Earthquakes! Expecting, I guess, right on to come in there. Trying to call it. Doesn't get it. So this is seemingly 4 attacks. I guess it could be counter explosion. Does stay in Psychic. What does he do? He does explode on this Executor. So now it is going to be up to Starmie, and let's see if he can do it. I mean, Rhydon and Snorlax both immediately die, but they are faster because of paralysis. I mean, Starmie has slowed everything. Oh, gets a crit. Billu going for special drops, I presume. I guess that doesn't even really help. Gets a paralysis. And we're just going to start setting tossing. Can the Starmie do it? Gets a Surf off. Gonna need some crits. No, this is just fascinating. Para. Definitely not been Serpi's games in the margins, I would say. Recover up. Surf. Nothing. 28. Yeah, it does 27 to 32 roughly. 4-hit KO. A crit. 51 to 60. 51 to 61. It's not even in crit range. Surfs again. Crit! I mean, right here. Does just go for the S-Toss. Starmie does have to recover. Now we see. Now we see Bees surely has to recover. Both get paralyzed, though. Gets paralyzed again. Serpi does recover up. Let's see. Does get the recover. Gets the Surf off. No crit. In crit range now, but not in regular range. As Billu gets all the way back up. All the way back up to 100. We just keep surfing. So it needs 2 plus a crit. Seemingly. Nothing there. Both down to 39%. No recover. Could end here with 2 S-tosses. Does Starmie get paralyzed? It does not. Back up. All the way back. We're going to keep going. Can the Starmie do it? No crit. Still not in crit range. Now in crit range. Gets the recover off. CBR in chat. Should Billu be Psychicing? Yeah, both Blazing Dark as well. I think he should probably be clicking Psychic. Get those Surfs all the way down. But, I mean, he could win it here. Gets the recover back off. Only 9 more Surfs. Does have Thunderbolts, surely, as the remaining move. No crits. Para. Crit! Can we do it right here? Does get the recover off. In crit range. No. All the way back up. Gonna have to keep... Yeah, it's gonna start Thunderbolting. Needs to keep at least 1 Surf for Rhydon. Just needs to keep at least 1 Surf for Rhydon. Thunderbolt. Snorlax goes down to Thunderbolt. So it's got 5 more Surfs left to play with. 18 recovers versus 16. Alakazam should have way more effective power. Yeah, especially when we start Psychicing. Thunderbolt does nothing. Para. Recover. Nice toss. Just gonna keep going. I think King Billu should have this one locked up. Thunderbolt's doing absolutely nothing. Not even any crits going on. 18 to 21. 6% chance to 4KO from full. Just not going to be enough. Essentially, I think if Billu just starts clicking Psychic, maybe it would have gone a bit faster, but it doesn't essentially matter. It does look like Billu's going to take game one with a pair there. Psychic, there we go. It's going to keep on recovering. Has started psychicking. Let's see if Billu can finish it off now. Nope, gets paralyzed again. I mean, this Starmie is fighting, for what it's worth, but with 8 recovers left. Still got 8 S-tosses and 11 psychics. Does get a crit there. I mean, nope. Gets a pair there. Could end right here. Still fighting. When there's a way, there's a way. Maybe we'll skip through these. Skip, skip. And down goes Starmie. So King Billu, in an upset, takes game 1, and apparently we're right back into game 2. Let's start from the beginning. Oh, Gengar stays in, gets psychicked, and misses Hypnosis. Deserved. I won't lie. You can't stay in if you're Gengar there. Well, Serpi blizzards no freeze. Right into the Chansey as Billu makes a good play back into the Gengar. Serpi does let his Starmie go to sleep. Down to Exeggutor. Let's see if this Gengar can time an explosion off this Exeggutor. Doesn't seem like they're gonna get it. It does go down Gengar. And now Exeggutor will have an opportunity to sleep something else, which is huge for Serpi. You don't want to be sleeping Gengar there. It's effectively useless. You definitely want to KO it there. Sleep something else. Let's see, we'll have the opportunity to sleep this Starmie as it's out of Blizzard range. Not even paralyzed. So we will see. But it's just going to go right to the Chansey. Let's see, this presumably does have Sing as well. Does go to the Exeggutor and gets paralyzed. Billu presumably wanting to sack this to sleep at this point. Wonder if he just tries to click Explosion. Could just go for it. I guess even if you KO this Chansey, then Exeggutor does sleep something else. Yeah, it does get slapped. I was gonna say, you sack, you KO this, but then you get KO'd. So you're kind of going down. Yeah. I think that made sense just to click Psychic, especially if you boom into the Starmie, you don't want that. I assume we want to see Billu. I think Starmie's in a pretty maybe not commanding, but in an advantageous position at this point. Wants to see Billu wants to get lax in, presumably. One thing about having these Exeggutor Starmies with the normals in your lead is it's really challenging to pressure Chansey without your it's only really your lax and your booms. And I mean Gengar can't boom, obviously, Exeggutor's asleep, so it is really just lax, and then I guess at a later point Tauros necessary. So Billu wants to get the lax in, but Chansey is I guess pretty free to click Thunderwave on the upcoming Snorlax, presumably. Probably just, I guess unless this, of course, wakes up and gets Thunderwave, then ideal. Or could just start chipping with Seismic Toss, which would do solid damage on Exeggutor. So it is just going to go to Lax, because we do see the Seismic Toss. We haven't seen a counter yet, so this is only the 4th set. And it's definitely Sing S-Toss counter would go crazy. This is where you'd click it. It would be really demoralizing to click counter here, and no way it sees it coming, and then it's just earthquakes or whatever. I'd be fucking pissed off. I'd be pissed off. But it does seem unlikely. I am glad this game started to give me a break from packing up my room as I prepare to move halfway across the country. For my job. I've been in the trenches since 8:30 a.m. It's currently 2 p.m. I would say I probably stopped. I stopped around 1, so that's what 4.5 hours of just straight packing things. Got through all my clothes, which took forever. I'm also deciding what things I'm throwing away, what things I'm keeping. Does just body slam as we try to see a Thunderwave. Counter would have been great. Got through all my clothes, which took forever. Got through all my old memorabilia from high school and before. It's interesting. When you see Cloyster, very interesting. Did my books, my personal items, my trinkets, Rearranging my room here while I leave. Going through all my like video games now from like all my Switch games and such. Been a long day, so I'm glad I had this Pokemon break. Ooh, big full para. Serpi, I would say, pretty overall, King Billu is just on the complete back foot at this point. Has absolutely zero momentum, I think is a good way to describe it. Is this avatar from, I want to say, Glacier Kuno's RBY Premier League from a few years ago? I don't know. There's 8 billion of these custom avatars these days. It looks very tough for I'd say the one thing that could save him if he has Zapdos without Chansey, which is what we have ABR saying in the chat. I mean, Zapdos loves feasting on like this Chansey, like these like all these monsters side Zapdos. But even then, Serpi is surely tech for that with like Explosion Snorlax and such. If it is, this is Egg does not want to wake up. It does seem like it's gonna die. So I'd say Zapdos is really the remaining. I'd say it does seem like it's likely to be Zapdos, as we haven't seen Chansey come in, and I think we would have seen Chansey at some point. So I think Zapdos is the huge stunts for there is the last hope. Which I mean, it does seem likely that they have a Chansey. I do think that Zapdos makes sense, but even then, it's gonna be tough. But I think if this is not a Zapdos, I think Serpi definitely has it. And even if it's a Zapdos, I do think Serpi probably does have it. But this is, I mean, in XCOM versus Vyman, XCOM goes down 0-1, does win the set. ABR against Oaktheon goes down 0-1, then loses game 2. And now Serpi, our third tier 1 versus tier 3, loses game 1. Let's see what he can do. Would be something. I mean, if tier 3 against tier 1 players are 2-1, taking down ABR and Serpi. And then they're only lost XCOM. I mean, all of tier 1's ridiculous, but Serpi and ABR especially so. Gets a big crit on Lax to take down this Executor. Fix the crit rate Smog Taurus. Holy moly. And now I guess Serpi is going to go into the Cloister. I mean, now Cloister looks amazing. Dead, paralyzed. Still very healthy, not paralyzed itself. Chansey healthy for the specials as well. It's just going to be Cloister. If you, I guess he probably just goes to the Starmie. As you see, I wonder if Serpi just clamps expecting the Starmie. Does just clamp. And at least give him a free switch this turn. And we'll see him probably, I guess he probably just goes back into Seismic Toss, Chansey, yeah. And starts clicking us Toss. Does get into the Executor. This always rounds up so this will die. Does S Toss, yeah. Goes back into the Lax. But Serpi's just gonna go right back into the Cloister, and it keeps getting tripped on the Lax. I guess Billu can eventually rest, but then I think that let's bring a Tauros per se. I wonder if I think going Heart Tauros here would probably be not the play. This could theoretically explode. I mean, you could just rest here. And if this rests and you get Tauros, then that would be crazy. Does this just explode, you think? I don't think that makes super sense into the Chansey or the Cloister. I don't think you reflect. Just goes in the Cloister. Counters for a lot of damage because of its high health there. So we do see counter. Big counter. I mean, Billu. He's got some big turns here with the Body Slam crit on the Executor. And then that counter there. For huge. I mean, now Cloister very compromised. Like, this could be Zapdos time, baby. I mean, if this Cloister is forced to rest, this dies, obviously. This Chansey is pretty healthy. And can't sing, but can't Thunder Wave. Doesn't have Ice Beam, though. Forced to S-Toss. Snorlax, though, like, I think with, like, all of Serpi's tools lose Zapdos, but I think together it would be challenging for Zapdos to take down all of them. Especially since Serpi does have his Tauros. Of course, remaining, but King Billu does also have his own Tauros. Back to these 8 Tauros. We do rest. Just goes back to the Starmie. So still no Zapdos reveal. I mean, that probably would have been. Oh, it just stays in for Serpi. Expecting the double. Very well done. And this is not slower. Well, it doesn't solve the process. It wasn't process to begin with. Is what I mean. Just goes back to the chancing. Now the Snorlax only at 33. Two seismic tosses and it's done for. So I think Serpi just starts clicking as toss, and we see what's up. See now, like that's where you want it to go into Zapdos. I mean, preferably, of course, the turn at rest. But even when it doesn't, I think you want to get into your Zapdos. It's probably the best opportunity you're going to get. Because what do you go into after this? I guess you let Executor go down and then you go to Lax, but it's like obviously not ideal. I think Serpi has no reason not to just keep clicking S toss, while Billu is just gonna have to go straight to his Taurus, which is not ideal. So definitely not a chance he last. Serpi is gonna stay in and gets the Thunder Wave off. This one is looking very challenging for King Billu. So I do think we will see a game 3, which I fucking love. Let's go! Let's go! It's already been 31 minutes, which is crazy. Seen good reviews of the F1 movie from my racing fans. I'm not a racing fan, or my racing fan friends. I'm not a racing girly, but I am a big movies girly. So I think I'm gonna go see that maybe this weekend or next or during the week before they ship me off to go work my corporate job in America, which I'm just thrilled to do. Absolutely. As opposed to the last month plus of just doing absolutely nothing. I will say, being unemployed when you know you will have a job soon, ideal, because you get all the benefits of not being employed, right, with all your free time. You're not worried about having a job or even really about money. Like I know I will have a really good source of income soon, and I'm like living with my parents, so that obviously helps and such. So it's been my ideal living space. I won't lie. Starting does go down after not a single full process from this Tauros, but now here comes the Cloister, which is this dies, this gets clamped, and it's gonna die. Although I wonder, do you just? I guess you could just click clamp, but I hate clicking clamp like this. What? How I could just clamp 85, 75, not even. You could theoretically clamp this down. It's just gonna go for the clamp and hits. So he gets at least another turn of 6%, but he's just gonna go to the Tauros because he is Serpi and gets it in on this Tauros. Very well done. Billu's only hope does seemingly to be this Zapdos, which I mean, I guess. Okay, but hear me out here. You get damage off on this Taurus, like one slam, one hyper beam, put into Zapdos range. This still not into that range. This just one away. So like you, even with Zapdos, you're gonna have to. You want to get this into Zap range, but of course Zapdos is slower. This, I mean, is probably the good as you're gonna get at 53. This you need. I think you need like some chip on. Gets a big body, some crit there. Now we'll have the opportunity to KO it. I mean, you could theoretically Hyper Beam into this Cloister, which does upwards of 40% ace to the lax. Um, so you probably want at least once. You want Slam. Let's call it 25 into Hyper Beam. Let's call it 45. Fuck, 70, which will definitely put it in Zapdos range. So it does Blizzard and misses. And this like definitely has explosion. I think you just gotta go, and he gets paralyzed now. So you wanna put this into Scepter's range. Doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. Theoretically, his own Lex could. He's gonna keep the Tauros. One if it has rest. Now bringing the Starmie makes sense. But like if you get a chance to get the soft boiled off, it's really tough. It's just gonna stay in, which I think makes sense. That Starmie does get the recover off. I think Billu would love to double to Lax, but I think just staying in here Is correct. Prevent any of the doubling shenanigans. Um, and now you're going to KO the Starmie Lax. It can be in range of a Hyper Beam. I guess this Lax is what you go to next. And you click Explode into something, but it's just going to sack the Taurus instead. I assume you're going to have to go Lax and click Explosion. I assume you just explode here. So I think if you're Serpi, maybe you go to Chansey and kind of just keep clicking S toss. I guess that could let this rest, but alright, this doesn't have rest. So I think you just go to Chansey and then bring in your Cloister. And this is basically in Blizzard range, definitely in Hyper Beam range. So then I think you bring in either Cloister or Taurus. Well, you keep this unless you have Hyper Beam. I mean, if you have Hyper Beam, you just click it and KO this. But if you don't, I think you go to Chansey as it's your probably your least valuable tool at this point. Goes to go to the Taurus on the paralysis. And it gets the Hyper Beam off. That goes down. Billu is going to forfeit, so we're not going to see what that last Mon one is. But it definitely wasn't a Chansey. I mean, maybe not even a Zapdos, or else we would have seen it. So I guess we'll never know. As we now await Game 3. Serpi does come back, ties it up 1-1, and we will get a Game 3. But unfortunately, as soon as this is over, I gotta go back to moving all my items, which fucking sucks. See, some commentary from the chat. Yeah, if it was Zapdos or Alakazam, you should at least try and you have odds. So I guess if it's Rhydon, I mean that's kind of what was in the back of my head. Yeah, I think it's got to be Rhydon. Well, Crystal, yeah, I thought Zap would come in versus Cloy or something when it clicked rest. Yeah, I agree. I do think he's probably Rhydon. I mean, if it wasn't, then I think some malpractice, not going for the odds. I do love when the people in the chat are saying the same thing I'm thinking on stream, or I guess saying on stream. Let's go. Very similar to when I watch a movie and I have thoughts, and then I listen to a podcast about a movie, and I'm like, wow, these people think the exact same thing. Like 28 years later, which is released, like it has a big tonal shift between Act 1 and then the rest of the movie. I was like, yeah. Materialist. I think it's got a really good script, but like the acting, not great. But I also wonder if that's kind of the point with Materialist. Things like that. 1-1 though, we do have a Game 3. This is not... jeez. I wonder if like stringing these best of fives later on is going to be... Holy shit. It's going to be crazy. 38 minutes in. I mean, for 2 games. Of course, I would say these... Serpi thinks a lot. I would say Billu is more of a clicker. But we do have Game 3. Another fucking Gengar. Jesus Christ. That was Game 2? Question mark, from Isa. Does stay in again, gets psychic, and doesn't get ruined. Good. Punished. Always punished. Always punished. Deserved. You can't stay it. You can't stay it. Does have to reveal Alakazam. Doesn't even hit the Blizzard. He's gonna Blizzard again, doesn't get it. Get what I want this time. That song's stuck in my head, which is most prominently in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is an insanely good movie, by the way. Everyone should go watch that one. I guess we're gonna see some Starman clicks recovers and then clicks Blizzard, but we're just gonna go right to Executor on his toss. And now we're gonna see, do you second the Gengar or do you sleep out of the Alakazam? Billu stays in Thunder Waves and does sleep out of the Alakazam. So that's big for Serpi. I mean, at the very least, Billu did get the Thunder Wave off, which is helpful. Love some ice cold lemonade. So you see Garzam. It could be something like Gar Exam.
Maybe it's the turn, the team we just saw with the revealed Alakazam. It could be like Gar Myzam historically is what would come to mind. Very unpopular pairing. Could see Gar Exam, but usually then you'd see something like Persian over Chansey. Um, so my guess is total blind guess, just based off my intuition, is Serpi is my Egg Dawn. I guess Starmie being a real lead seems to suggest not, but I wouldn't just be surprised if Serpi just goes back to his bread and butter with game 3 on the line. Well, I think Billu has obviously Snorlax, Tauros, Executor, not Chansey, is my guess. No freeze there on the Blizzard. I guess catching, I guess like theoretically a Rhydon, or just like a Starmie hoping for those Blizz. I guess not really Starmie for the Body Slam, but Serpi just going for it. Immediately in Hyper Beam range, and I mean Serpi has all the momentum, right? This can't really come in. This dies. This dies. Um, this is where your Executor, I guess, you maybe reveal, but if Serpi clicks Body Slam and that gets Crepera, and not great. So see here, Serpi could stay in, potentially eat a Body Slam, which is probably fine. Maybe eat a self-destruct, which is not good if he clicks Body Slam. Clicks like Hyper Beam, which obviously KOs the Slacks. But not great if Billu switches, especially if it's into something like Starmie. Does go into the Gengar on the Body Slam. Earthquake there would have been a Giga Chad move. But Billu will have the opportunity. I guess he can't even really click Hypnosis. But Starmie and Executor blocking. I guess he maybe just Nightshade, assuming a switch. It's going to double into Cloyster on an Earthquake. So I guess that actually covers all. So good move by Billu there. So it's... Let's see, I guess it could theoretically be Chansey with Garcloyzan, which is something you don't see as well. So I guess I could be wrong. Super kills just not be right on. So I could be over 2, which would be less than ideal. But yeah, it's okay. Here, one thing Starmie in particular being paralyzed, great for blocking sleep, not great for Cloyster, as we saw in the previous game. This also doesn't even have Thunderbolt. And especially if this is Rhydon, this Cloyster goes fucking crazy, especially if it's... Then you're really just relying on Chansey. That gets frozen, Starmie gets clipped down. Gonna be tough if the last is Rhydon. If Starmie's last is Cloyster, I presume maybe we see it there, but we don't. It could be telling it is Rhydon. It could be giving Rhydon. But you do not want to see Chansey. Raw Clamp there, I think, is a crazy play. I mean, if you miss Clamp, you get Thunder Waved, and it's just, like, not great, to say the very least. And, like, what even really getting out of this 10% on Chansey, I guess you could, like, it's not even like you get a free turn to Lax, like, you're still slower. I guess you just keep clamping. But I think this is, if you miss one clamp, then you get paralyzed. All your progress just goes immediately away. It's not even, maybe if this is paralyzed and it didn't start at 100, this could be better. He just keeps hitting clamp though. Is gonna now go to the Tauros on the free turn. So I guess that is a free 40%. So it worked out. Now I would say Serpi very much on the back foot after that Cloyster reveal. Especially if this is right on. Gonna be tough. Because I think if it was Cloyster, we probably would have seen Cloyster, so I do think it is right on. I will claim being right for Billu if he doesn't have a Chansey, even though his Zam override good at close enough. They're both second types. Or, never mind, Cloyver. Exactly. They're both like backbone Pokemon who go in the second slot historically. So, I would take it. I would claim credit. I do appreciate Serpi using his timer. Makes things a lot better. It's going to go back to Tauros on Zapdos. So it is not Rhydon. It is Zapdos. Which I think makes sense. With this being a real lead and also something that doesn't want to see Cloyster, I think Zapdos makes perfect sense. is going to stay in here. Obviously not right on from there last. But I mean, Zapdos goes in on Koizam. I mean, this is asleep. This dies. I guess this is faster, so not really. But this Cloyster, I guess not technically in range. Oh yeah, Cloyster's in range. That dies. Alakazam dies. Lax in range. Tauros paralyzed. Gengar, I mean, still not. But I think now with Zapdos reveal, the tides have turned again. And I think we're back in Serpi's favor. I mean, Billu could still have something like a Zen Zapdos. Yeah, I think Cloyster's value drops dramatically. Now it turns into like a... Maybe, I guess you kind of had to go... Maybe you wanted to go Gengar and keep the... Nah, I guess you can't really keep the Cloyster. I mean, it can't rest. Is the point. So I was thinking maybe you just kind of use it as an offensive engine, just keep clicking Blizzard and Clamp, and eventually explode. But now with getting paralyzed, it's really tough. Obviously, you hope you don't get paralyzed there. But maybe you go into Gengar, and you threaten with Hypnosis on Snorlax, which I might rule out. He is going to click Rest, so we'll see if this works out. I mean, Serpi has the opportunity to just go Hard Zapdos and basically prevent this from ever waking up. I mean, every time it burns a turn, it's giving Zapdos free turns. I guess the second time, it's suddenly out of Zap range at that point and can Blizzard, but... So we're guaranteed at least one free turn to Zapdos. Does, thankfully, avoids the first one by resting without Zapdos coming in immediately. But it's going to go to Alakazam. I mean, even that would have given Zapdos a free turn. It's going to be Gengar on Tauros. Comes Executor. So it is Executor. So it is all of... So it is actually Gar, Egg, Zap, not Chansey. So I was correct. Even though it is Cloyster. And then I should have picked Zapdos. Makes more sense. Some nice doubles there, though, to get Gengar in. Can threaten Thunderbolt here. Kills a threat to explode, which I guess doesn't even kill it. I think Thunderbolt, if you say any Thunderbolt, but it does click Nightshade and gets dropped. Not what you want to see at all. It's giving... I think it doesn't have Thunderbolt. But I think it's becoming tough for King Billu. Tauros is paralyzed. This dies to Zapdos. This dies. This dies. This is about to die. Paralyzed. So I think this Zapdos is an extraordinarily strong spot from Serpi. And he still has his unparalyzed Tauros. Still's got a fairly healthy Lax. And Chansey, Executor is a lot healthy. I guess his Executor is worse off. But there's no Zapdos on the other side. And the Cloyster is Zapdos food. So I think Serpi is well positioned here. Billu at least would have the opportunity here to, in theory, revenge this. Starmie, 21% odds for Body Slam the KO. Hyper Beam, obviously, a straight KO. But Serpi just have unparalyzed chance, which can just come in. And I guess it would die to Hyper Beam. So if this is Hyper Beam, fairly free Hyper Beam to click here. Because I don't think you'd get Executor, necessarily. And then even if this is Hyper Beam, you then probably pivot into your Tauros. Which then puts us in Hyper Beam range. And I mean the switch-ins are, I guess at that point, Executor. And I guess you could get slept at that point. It's Amnesia! Okay, Body Slam Amnesia. Still not sure what you're doing this Chansey, per se. Because it's definitely not Hyper Beam. Amnesia, Body Slam, Blizzard, boom. Is what it surely is. So we'll see. Lax can trade itself for Chansey, maybe. He's just going to softball it all the way up as we see Body Slams. Yeah, I see we see it. No boom, though, at all. So this now will die to S-Toss. So it doesn't even get a boom off, and it's going to be tough to revenge, I mean, unless this is a normal move.
Like, unless you're avenging with double edge here. I guess you can click sleep powder. You can threaten sleep. Actually. I guess actually maybe you click psychic, which then also persuades Starmie from coming in here. Because psychic can do a KO, and it will with a drop. Oh, it gets the crit there! Alright! How does Zapdos range? Could get interesting. Threaten sleep. Wax can come in, he gets slept. Executor. I guess Executor can just kind of come in. But then maybe it gives Billu an opportunity to wake Zapdos, but of course then that just lets in Zapdos or Tauros. So Serpi probably just goes, it does go. Starmie, alright. I think this makes sense. Especially with Blizzard. I mean, same thing. What does Billu go to is Alakazam? I guess it just goes to Alakazam. And then Starmie, of course, can just recover all the way up. And then either just click Psychic or go to Tauros or Zapdos. And if any of those come in without a wake, it could be GG. Is he going to go to Tauros? No wake up from Alakazam. And it's going to be tough. Cloister, I mean, hasn't burned any turns, even though it's fully awake. Has to go to his own paralyzed Tauros. And gets crit immediately. Serpi can just body slam again, doesn't even have to risk. Actually, just goes for Night Beam. Never mind. That's why he's Serpi. And now in comes Executor. He started me all the way in, so this should look like trending very much towards a Serpi victory here. It's just gonna Hype Beam to put this in a zap range. Could have slept there. You could sleep here. Sleep powder here would go crazy. But I think you just... Oh, he did it! He did it! Instead of just KOing this. Let's go! I guess if you're rest, that could go crazy. If not, I'm not sure what that fully accomplishes. Guard lead is so shit, that team is sabotaged from XCal. I am inclined to believe at least one of those statements. Down goes them. Zapdos is going to come in and clean. And Serpi is going to avoid the upset in round 1. And he's going to be moving on to round 2 while King Billu will fall into the loser's bracket despite going up 1-0. What a valiant effort. Very exciting games. Lots of commentary in the chat, in Discord. So thank you all very much for joining, and I will very sadly get back to cleaning once this game officially ends, at the very least, as we approach. There we go. 55 minutes. But thank you all so much, and I'll see you next time.